Alright, guys. So, a couple of days ago, Dereck Chisora, Del Boy versus Carlos Takam was announced for the undercard of Joseph Parker versus Dillian White. It's going to be the co-feature. I believe it is. Or is it? No, it's actually not going to be. I take that back. It's not, because the co-feature is going to be, I believe, Kell Brook. Which makes sense because Kell Brook is also a guy that could be in the main event, but he's fighting a low-level guy, a guy I never heard of. So I guess this is going to be like the runner-up. It's going to be like the third fight, and then next will be Kell Brook, and then the final fight of the night would be Parker versus White. But I'm going to let you guys know my opinion on this fight. I actually like this fight. I like this fight because it's a fight between two heavyweights who are the same size. And they are both losers to the main events. You know, Carlos Takam lost to Joseph Parker, and Dereck Chisora lost to Dillian White, of course. And funny enough, both of those fights were very competitive fights. A lot of people, some people at least, believe that Takam actually beat Parker. And I know a lot of people that believe Dereck Chisora actually beat Dillian White. They were both competitive fights. It's kind of like Joseph Parker and Dillian White. Both of them are coming off. I mean, both of them are guys that have lost to Anthony Joshua, right? Now, I think this is one of those fights that will go the distance because Dereck Chisora, I think he's past his prime. And Dereck Chisora has never been a big puncher. And Dereck Chisora isn't very good with landing his punching power. You know, he's an aggressive guy. He's going to be coming forward against Carlos Takam. He's going to be in Carlos Takam's face. Anthony Joshua is miles ahead. And I mean miles ahead in terms of skill set when it comes to someone like Dereck Chisora. Joseph Parker is miles ahead when it comes to skill set, when it comes comparing him to Dereck Chisora. Both Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua could not knock out Carlos Takam. Carlos Takam was elusive enough to go the distance. Now, I know they stopped the fight against Anthony Joshua, but trust me, that fight would have gone the distance. Takam would have gone the distance, but the referee intervened as always per usual when it comes to Joshua fights and stopped the fight. But that fight would have gone the distance had he not done that. Dereck Chisora, I don't think he has the punching power to knock out someone like Takam. But I like that fight because both of them are short guys, and normally when you have two short guys who see eye to eye together, normally that ends up being an exciting fight because the other guy doesn't have to like exert so much energy trying to get his bigger opponent. For example, if you're a short heavyweight and you're in there with a big heavyweight who's much taller than you, you have to exert a lot of energy trying to leap in, throwing hooks, you know, and that tires you out. It tires you out, especially if you're a short heavyweight, and especially if you have like the bigger dude making you chase him, and then let's say he were to lean on you, that really tires out the shorter heavyweights, and that's why they end up gassing out, and then the guy ends up just easily beating them. But when you have two short guys, they are fighting at eye level, so it's going to be easy for them to catch their opponents with left hooks. So this is why a lot of those type of fights tend to be exciting. So I hope that this fight turns out to be exciting. I don't know how exciting it will be, but I just think style wise it's going to be easy for Chisora to get to Takam. But like I said, I don't think Takam will be hurt by Chisora's punches. I think he'll be able to withstand Chisora's punches because I don't think Chisora has ever been a big puncher, and he's not accurate. He's not an accurate type of heavyweight. You know, he misses a lot of his punches. That's one of his problems as a fighter. You know, he tries to fight like Joe Frazier, but he's not as accurate as Joe Frazier. If I'm Dereck Chisora, I would be going to Takam's body. I would be going to Takam's body hard. And if I'm Takam, I would be throwing uppercuts, short uppercuts, because Chisora is very, very hittable with uppercuts. Because he comes in. Matter of fact, I believe he got knocked out against David Haye when David Haye threw an uppercut, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was that. It's been years since I've seen that fight, but it looked like an uppercut, if I am not mistaken. Although Takam is older, I believe he's about 3 years older than Chisora. I think he has more left in the tank than someone like Chisora, because Chisora is one of those guys that he always comes up short. He always comes up short. I'm glad that Takam is fighting in another big fight, because he's a guy that no one really talks about, Carlo Takam, right? Because he's normally fighting in none of these big fights, but this past year has really been good for Carlo Takam, because he made a lot of money against Anthony Joshua. He put on a really good performance against Anthony Joshua. At least I thought he did. And he fought in a big stadium over there. And now he's fighting in the UK again. But unlike the Joshua fight, I think this is a way more beatable opponent for someone like Takam. I just think style-wise, he wasn't ever going to be able to beat someone like Joshua. Even if he was in his prime, you know what I'm saying? He would have never been able to beat someone like Joshua. But someone like Dereck Chisora is definitely beatable. Carlos Takam was beating, in my opinion, or at least he was close to beating Alexander Povetkin, but he gassed out. And Alexander Povetkin is way better at throwing punches and being accurate than someone like Dereck Chisora. And they're both about the same size, Povetkin and Chisora. The difference is Povetkin, I think, is a better talent. But he was outboxing Povetkin before he gassed out. Once he gassed out, that was the only time he got knocked out. It was when he gassed out. So I think he was able to outbox someone like Povetkin. He should be able to do the exact same thing against someone like Dereck Chisora. Again, I'm definitely picking Takam to win. I'm picking him to win, but I wouldn't count out Chisora because although I think Chisora's very overrated and I think he's past his prime. I think sometimes Chisora has these moments where he surprises. He at least surprises me. There are times where I am picking against him and I think he's gonna lose, and then he ends up doing better than I thought he would. So although I'm picking Takam to win, I wouldn't count Chisora out. I wouldn't count Chisora out at all. But like I said, I expect this fight to go the distance. I don't think anyone's gonna get knocked out. I just don't see. I don't see the knockout happening. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say. I'm out.